Very good morning, everyone. Mr. Sunil Mardia, dignitaries, Your Excellencies, BIR and BMR ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to you. I'm quite privileged to have the honor to officiate the opening ceremony for the second non-ferrous World Non-Ferrous Conference in Mumbai here. In fact, when Sunil ji asked me to have the honor to be a guest speaker for this conference, I was just wondering, a lot of conferences are out there around the world to attend, and this privilege here must have a good reason to show up at. However, thought about being for 30 years in this industry and having all the art facilities that deals with recycling and understanding that our business is just not an ordinary business. When the business that preserves the natural resources and covers the sustainability of consumption and production and utilization of the urban mining, as well as covers the social and corporate responsibilities from job creation to business generation opportunities, as well as lobbies for free and fair trade. Last but not least, environmental protection and global warming. So I said, what an honor to represent this industry here at this conference. What I like to say here is a lot of us here are either recyclers or manufacturers or work around the recycling chain. Now that's quite an honor. To be a guest speaker is not just to say a few words. I think all of you here in this room are quite honorable people, as well as guests of honor, because all of us collectively have changed the image of the business of recycling. Back in the first half of last century, our business was quite undermined. It was looked down upon. We were discriminated, maybe interrogated in a lot of cases. Where did you get this metal? How did you sell it? Get me the documentations. However, all of you here in this room have changed the image of the industry to be a sophisticated green industry. We're not talking about thinking green. We do a green industry. We save the energy. We save the natural resources for all the merits that I mentioned earlier. And more than that, our recycling industry is contributing directly to the fastest growing economy in the world, which is India. All of you here, if I may humbly ask you all to stand up. And if you stand up tall and proud to be a recycler and give yourselves a round of applause for being in this industry, may I ask all of you to stand up, please? All of us should be standing, I repeat, tall and proud that we are recyclers. Because I realize the efforts we do, right from the backyard to the collections, to the recycling, to the entire lobbying we do, is really worth a lot of consideration and appreciation. Now I'd like to just give a video here, a few minutes, for the World Recycling Federation, which gets a lot of credit for having the lobbying and information around the globe. So let's enjoy a few minutes about the recycling video. Please.
Has become a fundamental part of industrial production on a global scale. Depending on the type of material, new products can consist of entirely recycled content. All over the world, ferrous and non-ferrous metal scrap, recovered paper, used textiles and tires, as well as plastic scrap, are traded and processed as real commodities. Over the last 30 years, the importance of recycling has grown tremendously. And while many different sectors claim the label of recycling as their own, only one industry has decades and even centuries of experience and know-how in this vital industrial and social activity: the material recyclers. These specialized companies use state-of-the-art technology and machinery. They work in strict accordance with national and international environmental legislation, as well as health and safety regulations. In 1948, The International Recycling Body, BIR, was created to further develop this vital industrial sector and represent it on a global level. Today, the recycling industry, represented by BIR, employs around 2 million people. Every year, they handle over 600 million tons of material. Their annual turnover exceeds $500 billion. And every year, the industry invests a major part of this turnover in research, new jobs, and new technologies. But there's more. Producing raw material through recycling requires only a fraction of the energy necessary for primary production. Recycling substantially reduces the emission of greenhouse gases and air and water pollution and preserves natural resources. According to a scientific study commissioned by BIR, material recycling alone saves at least 500 million tons of CO2 every year, which is more than all the CO2 emitted by aviation worldwide. Material recycling has become vital to the future of our planet. But to keep recycling growing on a global scale, we need free and fair trade to supply the world's mills and factories. Only an unhindered material flow ensures that recycling fulfills its important industrial and environmental role. As a representative of a global industry, it's the mission of BIR to keep raising public awareness about the benefits of recycling and to promote sustainability and a competitive economy with free trade of recycled materials and the environmentally sound management of resources. Recycling, a global industry, and the world's future leading raw material suppliers.
For 70 years almost of diligent work at the BIR, but still, it cannot be done alone. Without your participation, your contribution, and without the help of the BIR ambassadors, whom we have around the world, which I'm proudly having the chairmanship of that committee, passes the message across the globe that we need to recycle, we have to bring the raw materials from the right place to the right consumption place, together with also national associations like BMR, which does the same job in the Middle East, working in tandem with the BIR, MRAI, ANMA, IKEA, as well as for foreign associations like ISRI in the United States, CMRA in China. They all work together to see that the regulations is coming to your convenience. Now, many more other associations worldwide that they're dealing with. The fact is that today, our presence here today is a true demonstration of the synergy between the government sector and the private sector working as stakeholders hand in hand to keep the message across. Now, we do understand that a lot of regulations do happen place here in the Indian and further Asian and worldwide governments. However, our job is not to really entertain those regulations for the sake of pleasing bureaucrats. We would rather have those regulations smoothing out our day-to-day business industry. And I would here appeal upon some of the government's officials when they attend today that instead of having 5% duty on the scrap metals, which is required for fulfilling a lot of the needs of the consumers and end users in India, they'd rather abolish such a 5% duty and apply it on the finished product instead. I don't want to dwell much on that because the day is still young. I would like to give a special thanks to Sunil ji for giving me the honor to have these few words, and special thanks to his beloved daughter, Saloni, who graduated from London School of Economics and joined the business. Basically, I'm sure that great support and legacy of Sunil ji with the e-trading and the high ambition of Selena will make a nice combination to join the old school and the new school of thoughts, and we look forward to learn more about it throughout the day. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.